Caitlin. Today I'm going to be doing my genetic disorder. I chose to do it over Huntington's disease. A little bit about the background of the disease. It is an autosomal dominant disorder, which means that only one copy of the defective gene is needed to develop the disorder. It is also a progressive disorder, meaning that it's going to start off slow and kind of progress into something a lot more serious, and you'll start seeing it more and more. Some of the physical characteristics can include shaking, uncontrollable movements. With some of the patients, they will oftentimes have mood swings. The age of onset averages to be around middle age, 30 to 50, but it can start as early as the age of 2 or even as late as the age of 80. If it does start earlier on, like if it were to start when you were 2, it's going to progress a lot faster. I did do a case study. My case study was going to be over a family of, there was a mother and then 2 kids. The 2 kids were Carl and his sister. His sister ended up getting the disease. He did not. His mother didn't know that she had the disease. This was done in a time where you didn't actually have testing for the disease either, so you didn't really know about it. So you went up to the doctor and said, hey, these are some of my symptoms, and then they say, you probably have Huntington's disease. Carl ended up surpassing his mother and sister in life, and decided that whenever it was available that he was going to do testing for the genetic disorder. He ended up not having it, so that meant that he wasn't going to be able to pass it on to his children. He already had children, but he just wanted to find out if they were going to end up needing to get tested as well. So that was kind of good news for him, though it had already surpassed through his mother and his sister. His sister ended up in a vegetative state at a fairly young age of 47, and she passed away. She did live longer than her mother did, not in years. Her mother surpassed her in years, but her mother did go first. A little bit about the disease. It is associated with an unstable trinucleotide, being CAG, cytosine adenine guanine, repeat on a chromosome. So it's normal to have a repeat of the CAG trinucleotide about 20 times. That's healthy. That's not going to be affecting a human. People with 40 or more repeats will develop the Huntington's disease. If you have somewhere around the 27 to 36 range, you're most likely never going to even see any symptoms of it. For the people who have like a 36 to 39, that right below the 40 threshold, you will most likely get it, but you could also not get it. It's a kind of throw it up in the air. You don't know if you will or will not, but it is kind of likely. There are typically 5 cases in every 100,000 people in the United States. So that tells you a little bit about how often that you see it. Patients with the symptoms already showing can go to the doctor and ask, the doctor will ask about like intellectual or emotional problems to find out if that links with the disease. They can also do testing of the hearing or eye movement, strength and coordination, stuff like reflexes, a lot of reflex tests. That will also coincide with doing some of the laboratory tests as well. Those that do have the Huntington's disease may show a shrinkage in some parts of the brain, particularly in the fluid-filled cavities within the brain, which are known as ventricles. That will kind of shrink sometimes, which leads to all of the different mishaps that happen along with Huntington's disease. For non-symptomatic patients, the doctor can look at the trinucleotide repeat, and that will give them a detection of the presence of the Huntington's disease. For management, there actually is no cure for the Huntington's disease, as sad as it is, but there are some medicines that can sometimes help lessen the effects. It could take away from some of the shaking or some of the mood swings. There's also like speech and physical therapies to help out, but there's not a cure still. So just a few treatments that can help you. Because the disease is dominant, a parent with the defective Huntington's disease could pass along the defective copy or a healthy copy to a child. Each child in the family would have a 50-50 chance of inheriting the defective copy of the gene. If a child does not inherit the disease, then that child will not have the symptoms and cannot pass on to their children. For someone who wants to have children, wants to know if they're going to have to worry about that in their children's life, there is a few options of testing for that. You can do gene testing in a fetus, which is very risky and most people won't do it. There is the prenatal testing using linked DNA markers. So that instead of just direct gene testing. A third option would be for parents to find their embryos that do not have that HD mutation and then get those embryos implanted into their uterus. So those are just a couple of the options. I do have my phylogenetic tree as well that I made. So here we're going to have the humans. I didn't put a picture for humans. You can have me as your picture for humans. Go at the top there. There's the chimp, which is kind of lined up with humans, the green monkey, and the olive baboon. The olive baboon. Those two are equal with each other. Then they kind of go a little bit further than the humans and chimps. There's the wild boar, the cattle, and the roundleaf bat that are all kind of further down the line there, though they are not linked with the roundleaf bat. The dolphin is a little bit further than the killer whale. It's shorter, comes over here more. But there's your dolphin and your killer whale picture. So that is my phylogenetic tree. I also have my works cited down in my link that I'm going to put along with the YouTube link. So thanks for watching, guys.